Hi guys, so we're going to talk today about a Google update that happened last year and how that impacts your business or potentially impacts your business and why it's important. So this update was something called Medic and it happened about August, I think, last year. And Medic was targeting kind of YMYL sites, so your money or your life sites. So if your site is in the kind of health, well-being, financial sectors, then you may have had been affected that time last year when this update happened. And this was a core update, so it applied to everything that Google do. At one part of that update was something was to do with the updater guidelines, so i.e. the people that actually create your content. And Google is essentially trying to understand who it is that's writing your content, how authoritative they are, whether they're trustworthy. And so it came up with this term Google Eat. Now, that has existed for a long time, but it's really coming to prominence again now. So Google Eat stands for expertise. A stands for authority or authoritativeness, and T stands for trustworthiness. And really it's about understanding, as I say, the people that are writing your content for you and whether they have a strong personal brand or whether they are respected in the industry, and whether that means, if they are respected, then that obviously gives more weighting to that content. Now, there's a lot of talk about whether this affects the rankings directly or not, but it's our view that it can only be a good thing. And Google is always trying to find sites that give it the best content, or us, people Googling, the best content possible. And clearly, if that content has been authored by someone who's an expert in that space, then that is going to give some weighting to that content. So what can you do for your site? Well, there's a few things you could do. One is to make sure that any kind of editorial content is authored properly, so maybe it's got a link to the person's name that actually created it, and perhaps that link could go off to like an author page or something where it's got a little bit of information about that person, why they're respected, why they're a trustworthy source in that space. And maybe even better, you could link that off to things like their social profiles, so their LinkedIn and their Twitter if they've got them. But it isn't just about social media, it isn't just about their kind of brand from a digital perspective. It could be that they're cited in white papers, or they're just known as being an expert in that space. All of this would really, really help. So I guess the message really with EAT is to start to think more about the people that are actually writing or creating your content, and whether they are those experts. And then if they are, and that's great, then make sure that they're referenced and that you link out and you give Google everything it wants to be able to find those people online. So hopefully that's useful. That's Google Eat in a nutshell. Good luck with it.